Welcome to this explainer. Today we are cracking open an ancient text that honestly reads exactly like a modern-day survival guide. We're diving deep into the Mahabharata's Vidura Niti. Whether you're dealing with workplace stress, toxic relationships, or just the overwhelming sheer chaos of daily life, the framework we're about to explore offers incredible, immediate clarity. To really wrap our heads around this, picture this exact scenario. King Dhritarashtra is tossing and turning in his royal bed. He is a massively powerful ruler, yet he is utterly consumed by the stress of an impending, catastrophic war between his own family members, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. He's paralyzed by anxiety, completely sleepless. It is literally the ancient equivalent of 3 a.m. doom scrolling, that heavy feeling of late-night overwhelm that, let's be real, a lot of us know all too well. So the crucial question we have to ask ourselves is this. What is the actual cure for a restless mind when everything around you just feels like chaotic conflict? When you absolutely cannot control the external circumstances, how on earth do you find internal peace? Well, to answer this, the king calls upon Mahatma Vidura, a man completely renowned for his unparalleled wisdom and unwavering righteousness. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 5 key areas. First, a king's restlessness. Second, the mark of the wise and the foolish. Third, policy on friends and wealth. Fourth, ideal leadership and dharma. And finally, the supreme knowledge of life. All right, let's jump right into section 1, a king's restlessness, the sleepless king and the quest for peace. What happens next in chapters 33 through 40 of the Udyoga Parva is just phenomenal. Vidura steps in, and he doesn't just offer comforting, empty words. He delivers a highly structured masterclass. He doesn't just pat the king on the back and say, it'll be okay. Instead, he lays out a comprehensive guide covering everything from personal ethics and self-restraint to complex leadership dynamics and politics. It's a complete top-to-bottom system for life management. Moving right along to section 2, identifying the wise and the foolish, exploring the contrast of character. Vidura kicks things off with this stark psychological contrast. Think about the traits of a truly wise person. True wisdom isn't just about raw intelligence or high IQ. It is entirely about self-restraint. The wise control their anger and their greed. They actually listen carefully when others speak, and they remain totally balanced whether they're winning or losing. On the flip side, the fool is defined by impulsiveness. They act without thinking, they reject good advice out of pure ego, and they always blame others for their own mistakes. He builds on this profile by laying down a harsh but necessary truth. If you cannot conquer your own senses, if you can't avoid excessive indulgence and kick laziness to the curb, you simply cannot achieve anything permanent in this world. Self-mastery isn't just some nice-to-have trait. It is the fundamental prerequisite for any kind of lasting success. You literally have to rein in the wild beasts of your own impulses before you can win the battle outside. Okay, let's pivot to section 3, policy on friends and wealth, focusing on managing our relationships and our resources. This brilliantly illustrates how we should all be auditing our inner circle. A real friend isn't just someone who flatters you or hypes you up. They actively support you in a crisis. They have the guts to correct your mistakes, and they harbor zero jealousy towards your success. The fake friend, though, they praise you to your face, but completely abandon you the second their own self-interest is met. It's a timeless reminder that we really need to value loyalty over flattery. Now, when it comes to wealth, Vidura is incredibly practical. He lays out a clear step-by-step process for building lasting prosperity without compromising your peace of mind. You earn with absolute honesty, you work with sustained diligence, and you always act with righteousness or dharma. There are simply no shortcuts here that won't eventually cost you your sleep. The big takeaway here is that money earned through dharma absolutely brings stable happiness, but only if it's used properly. We're talking about caring for your family, giving to charity, and supporting social welfare. Conversely, Vidura explicitly calls out the ultimate wealth destroyers: gambling, intoxication, bad company, and extravagance. Make no mistake, these vices will bankrupt you both financially and morally faster than any bad investment ever could. This leads us right into section 4, ideal leadership and dharma, digging into the principles of true leadership. Vidura firmly warns the king here, pointing out that true leadership means prioritizing collective well-being way over your own ego. An ideal leader has to deliver impartial justice, actively protect their people, and appoint genuinely capable ministers, not just surround themselves with loyal yes-men. In fact, he explicitly states that leaders must strictly avoid corrupt flatterers and make decisions where the happiness of the people is treated as their very own happiness. But to actually do that, to truly lead, you have to understand Dharma. And Vidura doesn't leave this as some vague, mystical concept. He defines it practically, as the universal foundation upheld by 5 key pillars: truth, justice, compassion, forgiveness, and impartiality. If a leader abandons these pillars, it's a domino effect. The result is the destruction of the family, the state, and ultimately their own respect. Finally, we've reached the climax of our explainer, Section 5, the supreme knowledge of life, exploring the ultimate truth. Vidura completely shatters this illusion of overnight success or bad luck. Success? That comes from deliberate hard work, endless patience, solid discipline, and taking action at the exact right time. Failure, however, is almost always self-inflicted. It's a collapsing pillar born directly from arrogance, laziness, greed, and a stubborn refusal to take wise advice. And as he wraps up his advice to the exhausted, sleepless king, Vidura hammers home the ultimate truth. Wealth and political power are entirely temporary. They come and they go. But these supreme virtues, truthfulness, compassion, forgiveness, humility, gratitude, and self-control, these are immortal. Developing these is the true underlying purpose of life. Let's do a rapid-fire review of Vidura's 10 core principles. Think of this as your daily mental checklist. Speak the truth, control your anger, abandon greed, cultivate real friends, listen to wise advice, earn righteously, act with justice, control your senses, remain humble, and never ever abandon Dharma. I want to leave you with this profound concluding thought on what true success actually looks like. He who follows truth, righteousness, self-restraint, and wisdom achieves true success, respect, and peace in life. Dhritarashtra heard all of this incredible wisdom, yet he still struggled to apply it because he just couldn't let go of his attachments. So the question turns to you. The roadmap to peace is laid out right in front of us, but which of your own attachments are you willing to finally let go of to actually walk that path?